Hey, it has them. Okay, so it's part 2, so I covered my tool bag. So now we're gonna cover, oh, I've got assorted little screwdrivers, but so now we're going to cover the rest of the tools I keep in my car. So in the side pocket here, I keep electrical tape. Obviously I got black, a lot of it, but I've also got white, blue, and red. And so this is for marking neutral wires or different phases of wires. So sometimes you run a wire but it's the wrong color, so you can mark it with this. Also got spare blades for my knife, spare cassettes for my label maker, and I've got, we do fire alarm, so I've got fake smoke to test the smoke alarm. Also do lighting control, so I've got a control panel. This talks to Leviton lighting systems. And then in here I got my Stanley professional grade socket set, which is pretty good, but it's kind of annoying, to be honest, to try to pull out sockets. Everything always falls out. And then here, this is my knockout set. So this lets me make holes in electrical panels. It's a Klein Tools. I've only used it a few times because I've also got a hydraulic one, and honestly this one is really rough. Well, it makes really neat holes, but it's really hard to make a hole through any kind of box that's pretty thick. So almost always I end up needing the hydraulic one. And then in here I've got my Dremel. So sometimes, whoops, turned on this thing by accident. So this is my Dremel, which I used to like. Dremels are really safe, but they're really precise, and then they're also really tedious. So I've also got an angle grinder, which I hate because I think they're dangerous. So I got a ton of blades. I've only used this once, and it was like 50 bucks. I bought it from Canadian Tire, but I don't really need angle grinders that much. So, but in here I keep some spare tools that I don't use as often, including a larger wrench, another whole bunch, my drill charger, some Dremel bits, some more spare Allen keys because I had a second set, a flashlight, wrench that came with the Dremel. I've also got this Bosch kit, which I bought like 6 years ago, maybe more than that. I still have it, but it's got tile kits, which I rarely use. And then, oh, now all my things are gonna spill. Okay, and then in my other bag I've got my DeWalt drill, a DeWalt impact, and my DeWalt drill, and I've got a whole bunch of different hole saws. And now for electrical work I bought this Milwaukee set of hole saws, which are called the Milwaukee Shockwave, and you get 3 sizes, and they're perfect for making knockouts in the in boxes for like 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch, or 1 inch electrical conduit. So they're really good. This one broke though, the center bit came out, so it's trash now. I've also got 4 Milwaukee sockets, which are also really good, and I put them in here because I don't really have a better place to put them right now. So in here I've got this kit's missing bits, but I got another one. But this got this off Amazon. It's got like 150 some odd bits, but they've been falling out, and I just bought a new one. I don't know how to keep these bits from getting lost sometimes. So there's that. And then I've also got in here, I've got my Wago kit, which I love because I used like half of it in a week on a project. So this is way better than Moret's. So I got one Moret in there, and then I have a Dremel kit, but it's not an authentic Dremel kit. And then I've got a jerry can just in case we run out of gas. And then back here I've got an extension cord. I've got some wire loom. I should have Velcro, but I don't have any. I gotta pick some more Velcro up. And I've got my tire inflator. And then I got a whole bunch of different assorted screws for what I do. So I've got wood screws, I've got sheet metal screws, I've got concrete screws in here, I've got larger wood screws, and I've got like stove bolts just in case I don't ever know what you need. Sometimes you're out in the field. I've got machine screws. I've got a big tub of concrete screws. Sometimes you're mounting into concrete. So that's got all kinds of fasteners. And then this was just leftovers from a project. But in here I've got more machine screws. These are very specific for electrical receptacles, and I use these are really long, so I can, or not that long, but they're longer than normal, so I can I can finish receptacles that are really deep in the wall. I've got a whole bunch of DIN rails, and they're small so they fit in the car. I've got some zip ties or tie wraps. I've got Moret's, which I don't like as much, and then I've got some assorted boxes, covers, and face plates in here. I've also got like waterproof box covers, waterproof boxes. Got some spare electrical breakers. I've got an AC transformer, and then in here I've got a resistor kit which I got off Amazon, but this is really handy, especially for sometimes for alarms, sometimes for testing stuff. So it's got every size resistor from like 15 ohms all the way to like 1 million ohms. So this, I don't use this very often, but when I need it, like I really need it. Like I absolutely needed like a 1000 ohm resistor last week. So we were trying to argue actually between 1000 and 2200, and we didn't know which one the alarm system needed, and it needed the 1000, and had to go get some. But I had this kit, and so I was able to solve a problem for a big retail store right away. So the you have more stuff you have, the more problems you can solve. That's what I think. But then, and here, so I here this is a DIN rail mounted transformer. So this takes 120 volt up to 240 volt power, and it converts it automatically into 12 volts, and you can actually adjust the voltage. So if you're getting less than 12, you can go 11.5 to 14, because some equipment uses more or less. And then we've got a circuit breaker. This is also DIN rail mounted. And then in here we've got a tub of BX, also known as AC90, or armored cable connectors. And then I've got some terminal blocks which I keep here, and I've got some DIN rail terminal blocks as well. So these are DIN rail for like sorting wires. And then I've got some contactors. So these are AC contactors. Well, I've got some AC and I've got some DC. These were left over from a project, but they're 24 volt contactors for opening and closing circuits. So that covers some of the supplies. That covers really. Oh, I've got some armored cable, just a bit here, and I've got some fire alarm wire, some loom, and some flex conduit. So there's not enough in here to do like a full project, but there's enough to troubleshoot or fix something. So then if I'm doing a larger project, Then I'll have more materials like extra that I will need, and then I will just pack that into my vehicle or ship it, depending on. But here I've got all the tools I need to do the job, and here I've got installation and troubleshooting supplies. So if you have any questions, please post a comment. Thank you. And I'll go part 3 now.